I was watching one of my favorite stand-up comedians, Josh Johnson. I love Johnson because, apart from being very funny, he weaves some genuinely thought-provoking political and philosophical commentary throughout his shows. In this particular set, he was talking about the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show and the complex symbolism Kendrick Lamar weaved into his performance. But after explaining some of the artistic details of the show, Johnson said this.
I can tell you this, art can save your life. Art can absolutely save your life. I believe it from the bottom of my heart, but believe me when I tell you that entertainment will never be your salvation, all right?
This blew my mind wide open because it perfectly encapsulated something that I had been trying to describe for years but never found the right words. The difference between art and entertainment. At their best, both entertainment and art offer glimpses into the human condition, one through lighthearted diversion, the other through profound reflection. But as the world becomes more saturated with content designed to engage us in an instant, how do we begin to navigate these two realms, both so central to our lives? At its core, entertainment is a means to an end, a short-term pursuit in pleasure. It exists in the realm of the ephemeral and the physical, whether it's a catchy pop song, a thrilling action movie, a viral meme. Entertainment engages us by providing instant gratification. It offers a quick escape, a temporary diversion from the demands of our everyday lives, and in doing so, it fulfills a basic human desire. The need for release. We live in a world where the constant pressures of work, relationships, and the ceaseless barrage of information often leave us feeling overwhelmed. Entertainment then serves as a form of respite, a simple, momentary return to a less complex world where the only thing that matters is what's unfolding before us. It's like biting into a warm piece of chocolate after a stressful day. It's sweet, satisfying, and momentarily indulgent. But there lies its limitation. Entertainment is, more often than not, passive. It asks very little of us except to indulge in uncritical pleasure. It provides us with stories, images, and sounds that require only our intention, not our analysis. I love Mad Max Fury Road. It's one of the best action films ever made, but its cinematic value comes from technical and visual triumphs rather than thematic or artistic ones. It is entertainment. Damn near perfect entertainment, but still entertainment. Entertainment is not a place for deeper understanding. It is shallow and superficial. It takes us out of ourselves for a time, but leaves us upon its conclusion mostly unchanged. The experience of entertainment is often fleeting, and its impact can be very difficult to find. A Marvel movie or Friends isn't going to have a major effect on a person. While entertainment can be enjoyable, it often doesn't linger long enough to create a lasting shift in our mind. The only real way that entertainment can have a profound effect on a person is through outside context. Maybe this fun program got you through a hard time in your life, or maybe it was something that you shared with someone important to you. These experiences are incredibly valuable, but they are incidental to the specific form of entertainment. You could swap it out for a similar idea, and very little would likely change. Art, on the other hand, transcends the immediacy of entertainment. While entertainment often serves to distract or amuse, art serves as a mirror to our existence, inviting us to explore and grapple with the complexities of being a human. It doesn't simply offer us a pleasant experience. It demands reflection, introspection, and sometimes discomfort. Art carries a deeper purpose, to provoke, to question, to unsettle. It confronts us with truths that are often obscured by the noise of everyday life. Whether through literature, painting, music, or film, art asks us to engage not just at the surface, but with the essence of what it means to live, to love, to suffer, and to die. It might challenge our beliefs, complicate our understandings of the world, or compel us to face the shadows we wish to avoid. It takes us places we didn't know we needed to go, sometimes making us uncomfortable in the process. Art isn't always made to be entertaining, and often can be unpleasant to experience. However, this negative experience doesn't necessarily remove the importance or quality of the artistic work. Art is not passive and can never be fully enjoyed through a passive mindset. Enjoying and understanding art takes work and time and effort. Art can be boring. This is maybe the most common criticism of art that doesn't value entertainment. Law Diaz's From What Is Before is a 5.5-hour long journey into the 70s Marcos dictatorship and how it affected everyday Filipinos. It is boring. Anyone unwilling to deny that is, in my opinion, being pretentious. But From What Is Before is still an amazing film, despite the fact that it kind of makes my eyes glaze over. Why? Because its artistic value doesn't come from its entertainment factor. It comes from Diaz's visual and philosophical insight on the history and cultural ideas of the Philippines. One of the most maddening experiences I've ever had was in a film class where a large group of students, mind you, called Portrait of a Lady on Fire bad because it was boring. Whether or not the film is boring isn't the point. The point is that the entertainment value is one element of its quality. And this black and white statement ignores any other artistic value the film might have. They weren't judging it as a piece of art, they were judging it as a piece of entertainment, when it's not. The difference here is in the intention. A work of art is often crafted with the intention of stirring something within us, whether it's to challenge the way we think, to invoke a deep emotional response, or simply to make us confront a truth we'd rather ignore. Art doesn't necessarily promise to entertain. Instead, it asks us to pay attention, to give it more than just our time, but our thoughts, our curiosity, and our vulnerability. In this sense, art is not just about enjoyment. It's about transformation. A great piece of art lingers, even after it has ended. It leaves something with us, an emotion, a question, an insight that reshapes how we see ourselves or the world around us. It has a kind of power that entertainment, by its nature, cannot fully possess. While entertainment enriches the moment, art enriches the soul. So once again, the students in my class were wrong, not because they had terrible taste, but because they are approaching Portrait of a Lady on Fire as a piece of entertainment, rather than a piece of art. Because, and this is just a guess, they don't know a piece of art if it bit them in the ass. But here's where things get interesting. The divide between entertainment and art is not always so clear-cut. Sometimes entertainment offers us more than just a lighthearted diversion. Think of a film like Oppenheimer, which is as entertaining as it is profound. It entertains through its gripping narrative, yet it also asks difficult questions about power, regret, and modern society. Gris is an amazing game with some of the most beautiful images I've ever seen in my life. But it isn't a very active game. It is slow and not very flashy. There are no boss fights. There isn't even a combat system. It is, in terms of a game, a very simple platformer. Its quality comes from the sights and sounds and feels. Gris is a story about grief that resonates without being tacky or cliche. It requires insight to understand because it's a deeply metaphorical journey. And there's the question of the role of art itself. Some contemporary works blur the line between art and entertainment so thoroughly that we almost seem to mock the distinction. Think of immersive theater, where the audience is drawn into the experience in ways that can feel both playful and profound. Is immersive theater entertainment or art? The answer is, it depends, and it's both. In these moments, entertainment and art are not opposites, but are in fact intertwined. For entertainment, art can be a selling point for a more media literate audience, and for art, entertainment can be a wrapping paper for a more thoughtful gift. They are not distinct entities, but rather adjectives used to describe media, each capable of incorporating elements of the other. Entertainment, when executed with skill, can take on the qualities of art, inviting deeper contemplation and offering something more than simple distraction. The best of both worlds exist when a piece of entertainment elevates itself beyond the surface level, urging the viewer to reconsider the meaning of what they've just experienced. Similarly, art can entertain, giving us joy and pleasure even as it challenges us to think in new ways. This is where the magic happens, the intersection of enjoyment and depth. In our current moment, however, the distinction between entertainment and art is often obscured by the sheer volume of content available to us. With streaming services, social media, and endless apps offering instant gratification, it can feel as if the line between the two has dissolved entirely and entertainment has simply come out as the victor. So when art is consumed in 30-second clips or an entertainment is revered as high art simply because its production value or mass appeal is so large, where does that leave us? It is very important to understand the difference between art and entertainment because despite both of them being valuable, they are not the same. Art serves as a mirror to society. Art serves as a mirror to society, capturing cultural, political, and historical narratives. Whether it is a Renaissance painting or a contemporary film, each piece carries layers of meaning that requires analytical skills to decode. Media literacy enables audiences to recognize symbolism, metaphor, and historical reference within artistic works. For example, Francisco Goya's The 3rd of May, 1808 is more than just a depiction of an execution. It's a political statement on war and oppression. While a visual masterpiece, without an understanding of historical context and artistic symbolism, the painting's deeper meaning may be lost to the viewer, and therefore the viewer's experience of it is incomplete. One of the greatest challenges in contemporary media consumption is distinguishing the line between art and propaganda, because art can be really good propaganda, and propaganda can be really good art. Think of Soviet montage theory that emerged because of propaganda and is still one of the most important pieces of film theory of all time. Many artistic works blur the line between aesthetic expression and ideological messaging. And ideological messaging can be good. Ideology is one of the most important parts of art as a whole. But for instance, Leni Riefenstahl's Triumph of the Will is lauded for its cinematographic excellence, but is also recognized as blatant Nazi propaganda. A media literate audience can appreciate the film's technical achievements while also critically engaging with its political implications. This ability to separate artistic merit from ideological intent is essential in an age where digital platforms are rife with biased and reactionary content. Artists often create with a specific intent, but audiences bring their own interpretations based on personal experiences or cultural backgrounds. Media literacy allows individuals to engage in nuanced discussions about art without falling into the trap of misrepresentation. For example, Pablo Picasso's Guernica was intended as a condemnation of war, yet its abstract style invites various interpretations. Recognizing both the artist's intent and the vast ideas and audience perspectives fosters a richer appreciation of art and prevents the spread of misinformed critiques. In the end, both entertainment and art are vital to the human experience. Entertainment, in its simplest form, provides us with a break from the chaos of life, a moment to laugh, cry, or dream without having to think too much about it. Art, on the other hand, forces us to slow down, to question, to engage with our deeper selves. But perhaps the greatest gift that both offer us is the same, the ability to escape and to return. To step out of our ordinary lives and for a brief moment experience something larger than ourselves. The difference is that entertainment doesn't care much about leaving its audience changed by the end. It wants to provide a positive experience, and anything deeper is irrelevant. Concerts are a prime example of this. The goal of a concert is to provide the audience with a good time. And there's something noble about giving someone a good time. This works in three aspects: quality music, a sense of community, and spectacle. I think of Lady Gaga concerts with regard to these: the great music, crowds singing along, and crazy pyrotechnics. But all of these don't really do anything other than entertain. The music is rarely written to do anything but entertain, and it exists apart from the concert. You can listen to it whenever you want. The community exists to be entertained by the performer and to love the performer. This is opposed to artistic movements like Dadaism or Third Cinema, which were created to impart meaning regardless of entertainment. And the spectacle is just that. Empty lights and sound, existing just to be large and shocking. Now, none of this is bad. Concerts can be amazing. But from an artistic perspective, they're kind of messes. As Johnson said, entertainment will never be your savior. Entertainment can't change the world, and it can't change you. Entertainment exists to distract. It is the comfort food of culture, something to consume, enjoy, and forget. It is structured for mass appeal, designed to reinforce what people already believe, to flatter the audience rather than to challenge them. It offers catharsis without consequence, spectacle without substance. It does not demand reflection, it merely passes the time. Art, on the other hand, does not exist to comfort, it exists to provoke. Art challenges, unsettles, and transforms. It can shift perspectives, create movements, and force society to reckon with uncomfortable truths. Art is not concerned with entertainment's demand for accessibility or profitability. It does not fear being misunderstood, rejected, or even reviled. It speaks to something deeper than mere enjoyment. It reshapes how we see the world and ourselves. Modern entertainment is louder than ever, yet it says nothing. Celebrities, musicians, filmmakers, once architects of our culture, have often become detached figures shouting from their soapboxes, mistaking visibility for relevance, mistaking performance for substance. They flood social media with scripted authenticity, preach sanitized activism at award shows, and churn out content designed not to challenge, but to pander to the pre-existing beliefs of their audiences. Their words, though dressed in urgency, are hollow. Their work, though endlessly produced, is disposable. They give nothing for their politics and earn everything back. There was a time when art wasn't afraid to confront, when cinema took on war, injustice, and the failures of power. At the same time, there was this exact same type of repression, but at least a schlocky, pro-American, anti-Native American Western wasn't called high art. There was a time when music was a battle cry, not a brand, when literature exposed the cracks in civilization rather than serving as a self-help book with a plot. But today, popular entertainers speak as though they are leaders, yet offer nothing beyond well-packaged platitudes. Now, smut-filled fantasy novels parade themselves next to Lord of the Rings. These films lean on nostalgia and spectacle. These musicians loop around the same tired formulas. Political messaging being vague enough to offend none, but bold enough to be able to pat themselves on the back and say that they've changed the world.
And that's enough. Like if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or used the wrong verb, or then I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself because, man, you see how woke I was? I called you out.
Great art, true, lasting, transformative art, doesn't just exist to entertain or reassure. It unsettles, it challenges, it reshapes the way we see the world. Political cinema, protest music, literature that cuts to the bone and incites revolution. These are the works that change discourse, that plant ideas, that refuse to let us be comfortable in our ignorance. These are the works that history remembers. Meanwhile, today's entertainers create work that expires the moment it trends. They chase virality, not vision. Their activism is corporate approved, their message is carefully curated to generate applause, but no real thought. They do not risk, they do not challenge, they do not create, they merely produce. Art should not be a safe space. It should not be an echo chamber. It should force us to confront the uncomfortable truths of our world and ourselves. Art should be an explosion, violent and powerful. We do not need more celebrities pretending to be revolutionaries. They're not. Revolutionaries don't seek the limelight, they seek change. We need artists who are unafraid to leave a mark that lasts beyond the news cycle. In a world overflowing with easy entertainment, where the next distraction is just a click away, it's tempting to settle for the familiar, the effortless, the unchallenging. We gravitate towards comfort, towards stories that tell us what we already know is right and good, toward art that demands nothing from us but passive consumption. But what if we asked for more? Art has the power to disturb, to provoke, to unravel us in ways we never expected, and that is beautiful. It holds a mirror up to our fears, our hopes, and our vast array of contradictions. It can be difficult, unsettling, and even frustrating, but that is precisely why it matters. The best works of art, be they films, books, music, or paintings, do not merely entertain us. They confront us. They make us question. They demand that we see the world through different eyes. Yes, complex art requires effort. It may leave you with questions instead of answers. It may force you to sit in incredible discomfort. It might not deliver the immediate dopamine hit of a formulaic blockbuster or an algorithmic-driven TV binge. It might not give you a dopamine hit at all. But it will stay with you. It will challenge you, and it will change you. So go step outside your comfort zone. Read the novel that seems intimidating. Watch the film that calls you out. Listen to the music that refuses to be background noise. Engage with the art that asks something of you, because in doing so, you might just discover something about yourself. The world doesn't need more passive consumers. We have enough of those. It needs people willing to wrestle with ideas, with meaning, with beauty, and truth. So be one of them. Entertainment is passive. Art is active. The former is consumed, the latter changes. Consider how popular movies and television shows, even the ones that spark temporary discourse, often fade from memory as trends shift. But true art, whether it's Picasso's Guernica, Nina Simone's protest songs, or the work of Toni Morrison, outlasts its moment. It embeds itself in history, incites revolutions, and remains relevant long after the world it was created in has disappeared. Entertainment makes you feel good. Art makes you feel. Entertainment confirms, art questions. Entertainment ends when the credits roll. Art never really ends.